Welcome to this free immigration help channel. Today is May 20, 2023, and today I have a very quick video about COVID vaccine and the requirements of the COVID vaccine for the immigration purposes. Now, I've been getting quite a few comments, questions from you guys, from the viewers regarding this, so I decided to make a separate video about this particular topic. Before I begin, I'm going to mention I am not an immigration attorney. This is not a legal advice. All the information provided in these videos on this channel are directly from official government sources. And in this case, we will be using USCIS.gov and of course the DHS, which is Department of Homeland Security.gov. And I have the page from them open. Their announcement, as most of you know, as of recently, they announced this on May 1st, 2023, that beginning May 12th, 2023, DHS will no longer require non-US travelers entering the United States to show the proof of COVID-19 vaccination, which of course was great news for all the people that were not happy about forced, basically all this procedure, forcing the vaccine on people. However, unfortunately, this has not reflected, this regulation yet, on the USCIS, the immigration part of the process. And specifically, I'm talking about the medical examination by the civil surgeon on the form I-693. And I'm going to open this page right here from U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. Again, government website, USCIS.gov. Basically, that shows the vaccination requirements specifically on the form I-693. Now, I-693, you're dealing with this, you're dealing with the report of medical examination and vaccination record. That's basically the name of the form I-693. If you're interested to learn more about it, I actually do have a separate video on this and what it entails, what the process entails. But basically, if you are dealing with the adjustment of status, becoming a permanent resident, getting your green card, whether you're getting your green card through asylum, through marriage, I-130, family reunification, as part of the process, one of the final steps before receiving your permanent residence, before submitting that application for permanent residence, you do have to go through the medical examination with the civil surgeon, whether it is here in the United States, on the territory of the United States of America, or in some situations, like for example with family reunification, before going for immigrant visa interview to the US Embassy, you have to go through that medical examination with the civil surgeon there in the country where you're trying to get that immigrant visa. And yes, as part of it, besides all the lab tests and all the questions that the doctor asks you, they also check your vaccination record. And if you watched any of my videos, especially me answering your question, because most of the videos on this channel are about family immigration, I talk a lot about the I-693, going for that medical examination prepared, having your vaccination record with you. Why? Because if you can show that all of these vaccines you have already received them, then, well, you are basically saving yourself from unnecessary injections, all right? And I'm sure that a lot of people don't find them as pleasant, as unpleasant as I do. Okay, so here's the list of the vaccinations that is briefly described. You can find more of that information if you really want to get deeper into basically what the civil surgeon has to perform. You can actually find directly from CDC the vaccination technical instructions specifically for civil surgeons. These instructions are not designed for us, right, for public, for immigrants, but for civil surgeons. And if you want to go through it and familiarize it, you can find it here. I will put this link in the description below. But basically, the vaccination list includes the vaccines from stuff like mumps, measles, rubella, polio, whatever, some kind of influenza. Half of the stuff I cannot pronounce. But as you can see, still on this list, and this page right here has been, let's see when it has been updated. It was last updated on December 21, 2022. So about 5 months ago. Actually, not about, actually exactly 5 months ago. And still, we do have the COVID-19. Now, if you already have received the COVID-19 vaccinations, then really all you have to do is bring your proof of vaccination, that card that you got, and show that to the civil surgeon, and you won't have to get it. But if you don't have it, if you are outside of the United States, then it is still required, unfortunately. And there's a lot of reasons why I say unfortunately. But one of the reasons is that, well, first of all, I don't like anything forced on anyone. I believe in people having their own choice whether they want to get a vaccine or not. And I also believe that for the purposes of immigration, coming and reuniting with the family, it is unfair to have these regulations forced on people. Basically, it's almost like an ultimatum. If you don't get the vaccine, you're not gonna get to see your mom or your dad or your brother that you haven't seen for 15 years. It's definitely unfair. But one of the main probably problems with this situation is that a lot of these countries outside of the United States, they don't have the access to the COVID-19 vaccine that is accepted. They do have the COVID-19 vaccine that is that has been that was provided by their country, by their government, but it is not the COVID-19 vaccine that is recognized by the United States government. So I have actually seen quite a few cases already where a person received the vaccine and they went for that medical examination with the civil surgeon, form I-693, to get ready for their immigration interview, and they were told that they do need to get another COVID-19 vaccine because their previous one that they received is not recognized. Which I am not a doctor and I'm not I'm not any kind of medical professional. In fact, I try to stay away from all of that kind of stuff, but does create a little bit of looks a little bit sketchy. Let's just say it looks like a gray area. You already got some kind of injection. Now you're getting a completely different kind of injection for the same thing. Raises the question if it can potentially cause some health risks. Okay, I think it might. I don't know, maybe not. What do I know about this kind of stuff? But regardless, I think we shouldn't be playing around with stuff like this, especially because it is already not a requirement to enter the United States as a non-resident or non-US citizen. So at the end of this video, I'm going to ask everyone, if you are in the immigration proceedings, if you are, waiting for your immigrant visa, waiting for your interview, if you will have to deal eventually with the Form I-693, I would recommend reaching out to USCIS. I would recommend reaching out to the Department of Homeland Security. I would recommend reaching out to the Department of State, and also to your local elected officials with the request, with a public request, in order to get this off the list of the required vaccines on the list of I-693. It is not required to enter the country now, so there is absolutely no reason for it to be on this list for the immigrants, because it is not fair. It's completely not fair. If I can enter the country as a non-immigrant, then why, without this vaccine, then why is it required for me to enter this country as an immigrant? Isn't it completely opposite? Isn't it supposed to be a more streamlined, more fair process for those people that are doing stuff to pay all the fees, to go through the background checks and come to this country and live here legally, working, having all of this and being sponsored by their relatives, rather than not? So yes, if you could do that, I would definitely, I think everybody in the immigration in the immigrant community will appreciate that, and it will be I think a huge step to let the government know that time to get rid of this from this list, because it is no longer required by their own standards. So let me know in the comments below, guys, if you have any questions. As some of you know, I do a whole section of this channel basically answering your comments, going through your individual comments and answering the questions. It's called Answering Your Immigration Questions, and it goes by volume. I think we are right now on volume 95, so tomorrow we're going to be going to the volume 96. Always appreciate your questions, appreciate your time. Thank you very much for watching. God bless, and I'll see you in the next video.